What is going on? We're in the woods today, another round of cleanup. We're actually past the 2/8 acre dirty pastures and the 1/8 acre clean pasture. We're actually beyond that point now. Along with cleaning up the pastures, I also want to clean up just the land in general. We've had so much storm damage over the last few years that it's just been all over, and my trails are covered, and I just don't have access to the places that I want to have access to. So I actually came out here a few days ago with a chainsaw once again and took care of quite a bit of downed trees. And I made all these small, strategically placed piles along this entire area and cleaned up the ground really well. And I stacked them like this, specifically so I can come from this angle, grapple the entire load, grapple, and take it to a specific spot. Now I've noticed over the last couple of years, we had a big honkin' tree. It was huge. I can't remember where it was at, but it was on top of the ravine and it fell over onto the top side. And I did not take all the tree down. What I did is I chopped some of the limbs and then a lot of the other brush and debris that was down around it. I threw it all on top of that. Last year I was hiking past that point and there was a whole bunch of baby turkeys, or whatever you want to call them. It was littered with them. They were deep inside all the brush that I had piled up. And yeah, my turkey population around here has exploded. I post reels, I post videos of the turkey flocks around here, and it is just insane. The numbers have grown so much. And it got me to thinking that these things are probably beneficial. I've had a couple guys comment that, hey, check out that wood pile. He didn't burn it either. Hey, he left it for the wildlife. Hey, whatever it might be. And that's starting to turn into something here. So I'm thinking these small and or big piles that I am leaving behind is helping the habitat. And I've got far enough away from my first pile now that it doesn't make sense for me to keep driving so far back and forth. So I need to start a new pile on this end somewhere. And I kind of thought this is probably one of the best spots. One is I just want the debris gone. I want it out of the middle of all this. I want to have just room and, you know, visibility. And also it's going to help more growth to get this stuff off of the ground and out of the way. It's going to help promote the growth and the sun and the rain, all that kind of stuff. And I want to stick it in here. I got this small little cavity. It's basically useless. I've got a couple down trees up high, which eventually I'll just take the chainsaw, cut those, let them fall right into the same darn pile, and it'll kind of help zigzag, create some cavities within this thing. And when we're all said and done, we're gonna have this amazing habitat pile. Basically, it's a habitat pile. It's a brush pile for the habitat. And so that's the plan today. So when I came out here, I got everything prepped, ready to go. So today, all I gotta do is a bunch of fun grapple work, pick, throw, pick, throw, pick, throw. That's all we gotta do today to create our little habitat pile for this specific area. So it is tractor time. right, so that actually went fairly quick. Now, the size of this thing, it's not very wide, but the very end, it's gonna be probably about 6 foot tall. That's about where the bucket can really reach and kind of dump over the top of it. But the entire length of this thing, I mean, we're looking 6, 12, and we're looking about 24 feet probably. So it's gonna be a pretty hefty habitat pile we got going on here. It's gonna be fairly narrow, so as long as future limbs I cut to about 6, 7 feet in length, we should be fine to get smashed in there. Now I'm gonna walk over to my last pile that I've been crating. It looks pretty nice. I think I layered it very well. And I got some nice big logs over here. I gotta come. Those are all cut up too. They're just laying there for me to come snag. And a little bit over there. That's pretty much my last big major tree that's down that I have yet to touch. But we took a couple more of these logs, we cut them up into basically like goat toys. So they'll be fun for the goats, jumping around, climbing on, and the kids when they're out here. So here is my first pile. We got all these big, long, thick logs on the bottom, and then I lasagna stacked it along the top. So this thing is about 35 feet long, and I was able to climb up with the tractor onto that first big log, the front wheels and four-wheel drive, and kind of get dumped a little bit higher. So it stacked it really tall, and I still have lots of room. I just don't like driving this far back and forth with the tractor. So this second habitat pile will be awesome. I actually got quite a bit of down stuff up on top too, but that's gonna be stuff I can cut and potentially toss back down into the top of the piles. I got a really big log on the bottom. I think I might try to skim the top stuff off first and come back, get that big one. All right, this is the last, well, bigger brush pile. We got a couple smaller brush piles, but then there's just a lot of like random logs and stuff left. So one of the reasons I picked this little nook is because I kind of just want this debris out of my view. And this was kind of the only place that just kind of got it pushed far enough out away from the trails. But I'm running into a small problem because it's so narrow and I can't go in at different angles. I'm kind of dumping in the center mostly, and the sides are not getting filled in. I'm creeping up the wall a little bit, trying to dump over there, but it is very narrow and I'm not able to get everywhere like I could on that open one on the other side. But it is working. We've got it's probably about 7 feet deep now. Still got a long ways to go. I will not get done tonight. The sun is already set and it's gonna be getting dark here probably fairly quickly. Yeah, but we'll keep hammering at it. I've got a few more. We got the full trees now. We got some logs there I might snag. Then I think actually oh, there's my daughters over there. We got some trees that I cut there too that are a little bit thicker. I might lay along the bottom there. And then we'll tackle some more of these brush piles. There's actually 2 logs. I was able to grab both ends at one time. I got 2 again. Feels good to get that big log out of the way because it's been haunting me for about 2 years. It's one of those logs that I kept forgetting about, but it sat on this trail. I come around with my side-by-side to come down this trail and it would sit right here and it was like right there. And I have a small tree right there, so it was just not enough space for me to get the side-by-side through. And every time I come around this trail, I'd remember that it's here and have to turn around and go back the other way. Well, now it's gone. I don't have to worry about that no more. So now my trail, it's clear open, it goes all the way around there and all the way out to the end of the pasture into the range. So we have, basically now we have our full circle trail accessible on the inside of the ravine. So that is huge right now for us. Now that I've got a nice big layer of those larger logs, I'm gonna go ahead and throw some of the smaller brush up on top of it so it kind of gets packed in and kind of works its way into it a little bit. All right, we have made pretty good dent. So there's the big logs I threw down there. And what's nice about those is it kind of leaves some cavities out and about and around. And then when I pile the other stuff on top, it's kind of settling down. And over time, it'll slowly just fall and settle and form itself into a nice pile. I mean, I do still have some gaps on both sides, which I'm not sure. But like I said, I'm gonna be cutting off a lot of that stuff, and I can be just throwing it right down the sides and really filling it up. But we have a lot of space left to fill, but we made pretty good dent. We've got a lot of clear land out here, and it's starting to look really, really good. But yeah, it's getting darker. Probably should head on out of the woods. Hope you enjoyed today's video. See you all next time. Later.